Let's talk about that. I mean, it's just after 7:30. You've made it safe and sound and on time to our Westminster studio, which is perhaps fortunate because, as I'm sure know, Just Stop Oil are planning to bring London, they say, to a halt every morning during the rush hour this week. What would you feel if you actually weren't there in the studio right now, but were stuck in your car, in your limo, behind a very, very slow-marching phalanx of Just Stop Oil protesters? Would you think, this is damn irritating and it's stopping me doing my job and talking to the nation, but I accept they've got a broader point and I support them, or would you be cursing under your breath?
It's definitely not a limo, Richard, sadly.
All right.
Look, Just Stop Oil are driving everybody up the wall. It's totally irresponsible what they're doing. And it's damage. It's totally counterproductive. They're not getting support for their cause, but it's also causing huge disruption. Some of the protests that they've been doing have been dangerous. We saw some of the motorway protests that were just dangerous and irresponsible. I think it's just really damaging and unfair on people across the country. I really think they should just change course. The police rightly do have the powers to take action, and they long have had so. But I think this is just, they're just a deeply frustrating group that's driving everyone up the wall.
Well, you say they should change course, but they're not going to, are they? They're actually stepping up their action.
I think they're totally wrong to do so. I think you've heard Keir Starmer say this is just an arrogant way to conduct themselves at a time when actually we should be building support for tackling climate change. You've seen the temperatures across Europe. You've seen your own Laura Tobin has done some amazing work in arguing about the case for tackling climate change. We need that concerted actions. We need a Labour government to get clean energy in place. We don't need this kind of disruption that ends up, stopping ambulances get to hospitals and stopping people getting to work.
Meanwhile, you, again, have gone backwards. Labour vowed to invest £28 billion a year in climate-related measures to protect the UK from disaster, and in June announced that was delayed. I mean, the Just Stop Oil protesters would say, you're not doing enough. We'll carry on.
Well, the clean energy target remains and is really clear, and we will invest and build up that investment to deliver it. So actually what we're proposing is the most radical programme we have ever seen to tackle climate change, to get clean energy in place, to also make sure that we can insulate homes right across the country. So it's a major radical programme that we will invest in.
But not if you come to power immediately.
So I think you've obviously got to get the apprenticeships in place, you've got to get the investment in place, you've got to get the new infrastructure in place. Of course, that takes time to do so, but we'll be starting on day one to get that clean energy in place. And it is a huge transformation compared to what we've got at the moment. So look, a lot of your questions, Susanna, I think are about saying, look, we're not going to be able to solve every problem immediately. Well, that is the reality of what if we get a Labour government elected, what we're likely to inherit, the chaos that the Tories have left us with after 13 years, the devastation to our economy and to the public finances. We're going to be practical and realistic, very serious and hard-headed, but also very ambitious about the changes we want to make to the country to get a fairer country, a stronger country, and a cleaner country too.
My point is that right now, we don't know how far away we are from a general election, but people keep hearing Sir Keir Starmer pledging really attractive things, and then a few months or maybe even a couple of years later saying, no, we're not going to be able to do that. So the point is, up until the general election, can we trust anything that you guys say? Because is it a promise, is it a pledge, or is it just, a sort of kite flying in the air that you might or might not do when you come to power, if you get in?